Track 4 is a song called Care For You that's actually dedicated to a fan of mine. And she comes to a lot of my shows. Her name is Carol Wallace. And she gave and donated and said, if you do this, I'll write this song and dedicate it to you. And I let her hear it. She said, "Oh, I love it." She approved the song and we put it out. So a lot of times people are asking like, who's Carol? I'm like, no, Carol's nobody like that. She's just somebody that is a big, huge supporter of what I do, like so many of you guys. The next track, Better Decisions, is a very short song that a lot of times, like back in my limited edition album, I had these little excerpts of songs. They were like maybe 45 seconds long, maybe shorter than that. And people were like, "Man, can you finish that?" It's like, it's not an idea that I intended on being completed and finished. So when I worked on this song with my producer, Now Hargrove, well, actually he sent me the song and I was like, "Man, that's great. What are you gonna do with that?" He said, "I don't know, you can have it." So I added like some stuff on top of it, some vocals. I think I added like some flutes and like a little bit like of synth on top of it. He already had a lot of stuff laid out on the song, but it was beautiful. So the vibe of the song and the energy of it came when I was reading this book called Better Decisions, Fewer Regrets by Andy Stanley. It's a book about, a lot of the choices that we make in life lead us down the path that we are now. Whether we decide it or not, it's like our decisions is what gets us there. So we have to make better decisions to have fewer regrets. Track 6, The Sunflower. A lot of people are asking like, what does that mean, the sunflower? I have learned and come to understand that women are like flowers, and every woman is a different type of flower. And no matter what, you can't treat every flower the same. You have to understand, what each flower needs. If she's a tulip, if she's a rose, if she's a daisy, what amount of water, what amount of sunlight. You can't plant every flower in every foundation because it may not hold it. But no matter what, at the end of the day, all these flowers need all these different elements to be able to survive, but you gotta know how much to get it. But the only way you can understand and know what to give each flower is to understand what flower you have. So in my opinion, it's no slight to anyone that likes roses or tulips or daisies or tiger lilies, but I've come to the understanding that the sunflower is the best kind of woman. And in my experience, the women that love sunflowers, in addition with like some other flowers, but the sunflower being the main flower, that is the woman that you want. So if you're a woman out there, you loving sunflowers, and fellas, if you're dating a girl and she likes sunflowers, keep her. She's a keeper, in my experience. But a lot of times, these women, if they not a sunflower earlier on, they develop into sunflowers, later on in life. That's just life. There's no science behind this. It's just my experience, my little bit of experience on this earth. So that's the sunflower. That's the story behind that. Track 7 and track 15. These two songs they're the same in one. One's an instrumental and one has lyrics to it. I choose love, I choose you. During the pandemic, I tell people, the story when I play the song live, and some of you guys may already know it, but there was a relationship that I had that I was dating someone and it ended. And one thing that devastated me about it is that she maybe felt like I didn't love her the way that she wanted to be loved. And I think through this process of like knowing and, figuring out what love is, I'll say this, I had a conversation with my buddy Tim, and the conversation was, "Marcus, what is love to you?" And I had always identified and equated love to being a feeling. And then, later on in the conversation, Tim told me, said, "Well, love is a choice." And I asked him to explain a little bit more about, what do you mean, like love is a choice? And he said, well, you choose, like to be with someone. Like what happens when the feeling fades? Do you leave or do you stay? You're choosing to stick it out with that person. So like when he said that, all these things started like spiraling in my head. I was like, oh, that makes sense. You're choosing love and like choosing to meet this person, halfway, and choosing to, deny yourself of certain things. And it's so much that like was spinning in my head, but it clicked and I understood that, all right, I'm gonna choose to be in love. I'm gonna choose to be happy. I'm gonna choose to be joyful. And I wrote this song and it says, I choose love, I choose you. And the lyrics were written by me and my buddy TK Morrison, who's an incredible lyricist. If you haven't came to a show yet, I can't wait to play it for you. But that's I Choose Love, I Choose You.